Houston, we've got a problem. Or should I say, Holloway Road, we've got a problem. Left wing for Arsenal. We know Vinny's not signing. Ha ha, jokes on us. But ha ha, jokes on everyone else. Because we've still got an adequate squad to go back to winning the league. Arsenal though, I do really think that left wing, like my hairline, it's a bit short, okay? And what do we do with it? Now, I've done like a short list of a few names that I think we could still get if we put the right amount of money in, wages, fee, all that good stuff. Some make more sense than others. However, do you guys think, I'm going to ask you straight off the bat, do you guys think if we haven't signed anyone for the left wing, will we be okay? Will we go back to back winning the league, Champions League even? Because we've still got some depth in there in terms of the whole squad that can go into that left wing. Lacanese, you know, Madueke on the left, Saka maybe even on the left if needed. But let's get into it. So I've got a list of 5 names, and I think a couple are more realistic than others, and others are just not what I think we need in terms of, you know, long-term fixes and even short-term fixes, to be fair. But we're going to start off with Julian Alvarez. And I think this brother, for the left wing, could still work so much, even though he is a striker. And I get, primarily, he is a striker. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But we've seen some banging goals off the left for Argentina. And I think for Atletico. Don't know if he's played on the left. I don't watch Spanish football. Can't stand it. But yeah, I think Alvarez just makes so much sense for the squad, whether he does play down the middle or if he needs to go on that left or chop and change, even a false 9, even a 10. I still think he can play a 10 role if, again, needed. I think with him, though, it's more complicated because we know how he feels about Barcelona. Him wanting to go to them so much, like he's eager, his dream even, I think he said. And I think even if it's a stopgap for us, it will still make sense. Yes, he's going to cost a pretty penny, at least 80, 90 million upwards. But if he can secure us another league, if he can secure us a Champions League, bro, after 6 months, ta-ta, thank you for your service. Maybe even a year, 2 years, you know, give him a 3-4 year deal with a mad buyout clause. Barcelona, come and have him, sunshine. But I think Alvarez could still work. I think we could get him. I know Atletico don't really want to sell directly to Barcelona. Of course, why would they? But I think with Arsenal, I don't think they'd be that aggrieved. I think they'd be up for it. They'd be like, you know what? It's a weight off our shoulders. Kind of falling out with everyone in terms of how he's voiced his Barcelona aspirations. So Arsenal, he's your problem now. Give us the right amount of money. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think the next one, though, is kind of the opposite. I think with Barcola, which is the next name I've got down, he's going to cost a lot of money. Like, I'm talking 140, 50 million, because I think that's what PSG want. And of course, he's mad young. We've seen him in snippets the past couple of seasons, what he's capable of on the left-hand side. Great, direct, pacey, powerful, got a finish on him. Although I don't think he's the finished article just yet. Again, he's still mad young. What is he, like 20, 21, something like that? And I think long-term, that could be the right answer, the right investment in terms of sell-on fee and maybe just getting the most out of him in terms of the amount of money, the amount of years, or money to years ratio, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I just can't see it happening, man. Thing is though, Liverpool have been after him or snooping about, and I just don't think PSG are willing to let him go for anything less than, like I said, 130, 140 mil. But are we going to be paying that money? Will we pay that money? Because look, Vinny, ideal, elite player, one of the world's best. He still signed a contract for 6 years. It doesn't mean he's staying there for 6 years. He could turn around, not happy at what's happening at Madrid, in a year, 2 years' time, 6 months even, and say, look, Arsenal, what are you saying now? What are you saying? And the reason why it was floating around that Vinny was about 130 mil is because he only had 1 year left on his contract. So who knows what that would cost with a full length left. Do you know what I'm saying? That would be at least 200 mil. But look, Barcola could work. I mean, we could get him, again, if we put the right amount of money down. The next one, though, is probably the least favourite of the list, in my opinion. Can't believe I'm saying this in 2026. Marcus Rashford. Yes, you're hearing that right. This geezer, that Donny. Look, I mean, I said it on the stream the other day. If all else fails, if we can get him on loan, I'm not mad. I'm not mad because I still think there's a bad boy player in there. On his day, finishing, powerful, athletic, can run in behind, darting runs, on the ball, great, can pull the team up the pitch with just raw pace alone. But I just don't think he'd be worth the wages and worth a long-term signing. I think if you get him on loan, pay part wages, or maybe even if you have to pay the wages just for a season, see how it goes, then check your options after, because he's done good stuff with United, you know, here and there, with Barcelona, with England as well, to be fair. But yeah, I just think there's a player in there. And I think if any manager was to get a song sheet out of him sheet, whatever the saying is, I think it is Arteta, because he's done some great work with Sterling at City, you know, even Saka. Like, he has done wonders with certain wingers in the past. And I think Rashford could still do something. I'm not saying I want him. I'm just saying, if all else fails and we don't get anything else, I think the left-hand side could still do with a Rashford on loan. Even if it's 30 million, 40 million, you're not breaking the bank. You're still not ruling out a longer-term signing for that left-hand side. Why not? But look, that's probably the lowest of the pecking order for me out of this list. The next one is feeling like the most unrealistic for any team to get him out of PSG. Yes, another PSG player. It's Kvaratskhelia. For me, him and Vinicius are probably top two wingers in the world. Yeah, I'd put Vinny above just because I've seen him more like long term and what he's won. Of course, Kara's done great stuff, Champions Leagues and everything else, but I just think Vinny has more to his game all round, you know, and as a brand even, I know that's not, you know, taking into account footballing ability and everything, but I just think, you know, Vinny is just Vinny. Kvaratskhelia though, honestly, this boy works his socks off. On and off the ball, he's direct, he's humble, there's no exploits off the pitch, on the pitch, he just cracks on, yeah? We've seen it time and time again for PSG, even Napoli, you know, for Georgia even. And I think if you were to get any sort of sniff of him leaving Paris Saint-Germain, I think it would be, again, close to a 200 mil. Remember, this guy went to them for about 70 mil, something like that, 60 mil. In that year, they won the Champions League for the first time. That was the key, the catalyst signing, bro. And that's what I think we need to get a Champions League over the line. But I don't think it's him because it's unrealistic. PSG know what they've got. And if they want to get rid, I think it's going to cost an arm and a leg and a hairline. So, yeah, I don't think it will happen. But out of everyone on this list, I'll probably put Alvarez first in terms of what he could do for us, not in terms of ability and player. But I think Kvaratskhelia is definitely a close second. Do you know what I'm saying? But the next one is kind of a wish and hope. And obviously him being from my nationality, I guess, Turkish, even though I'm Cypriot. Kenan Yildiz. This brother. Honestly, I think he has got to be, Turkey's best winger I have ever seen in terms of raw ability, in terms of finishing, in terms of overall branding and just everything with his game. I know I'm talking about branding a lot. It's not a, Dragon's Den. It's not an Apprentice episode, but he has so much to give to a team. And Juve know that. Remember, he's young. He's Turkey's probably top two players with Arda Güler. And I think with him, his ceiling is... Like, we thought Martinelli's ceiling was up there. We thought Saka's ceiling is up there. And Saka has lived up to it. Martinelli, definitely not so much. But I think what Yildiz does that Martinelli should have been doing is the direct runs, the cutting, the bang, top right corner, top left corner. This guy has a full package when it comes to wing play, attacking play, and just all-round fear factor. When he's on the ball, bro, double up, triple up. Players are backpedaling, and that's what leads to a goal. We've seen it with Turkey. We've seen it with Juve. Bro, this guy, honestly, for me, he's probably third on this list, even ahead of Barcola. Like, I know it sounds mad, but from someone who has watched him vigorously throughout multiple different leagues, competitions and everything, bro, he's up there, man. He's up there. I've not seen a Turkish player with this much flair, with this much directness, with the finishing to go with it. Like we've seen Hassan Shash, Arda Turan, like all these players that are wingers or attackers that are up there. They play for the best, you know. Obviously, Barcelona, Atletico with Arda, like, bro, this guy though, honestly, yeah. And the fact that he's still so young is a scary thought. But again, if he was to leave Juve, it would be a pretty penny. Like I'm talking at least 100 mil. He's got the 10 shirt. I think he's signed a new deal. And I think Juve are definitely on a rebuild. You know, whether it happens for them or not, I don't know. And Yildiz, honestly, is probably one of the biggest parts of that rebuild. But yeah, look, I'm going to recap. I'm going to rank all of these. I know there's more. I know there's Williams. I know there's Leao, but I'm just not interested. I'm really not. Like, I don't think they'd move the needle ahead of a Martinelli. Like, I genuinely think Martinelli, for us, can still do a better job than those two in terms of a full season. But yeah, in terms of these five, so you've got Alvarez, Barcola, Rashford, Kvaratskhelia, and Yildiz. Out of the five, I'm ranking first Alvarez. Again, can play multiple positions. We know what he's done in the Prem. Can play on the left as long as we need him on the left, but he can also definitely play as a striker because that's his bag. Barcola, nah, I'm going to go Kvaratskhelia second because we know what he's about. Yeah, on that left-hand side, honestly, top two for me in the world. Then it goes Yildiz. Again, what I've just spoken about. Direct, powerful, young, the age is still up there for him. And I don't think he'd cost as much as a Barcola or a Kvaratskhelia in terms of getting him out of Juve. Again, though, unrealistic. Juve, I don't think want to sell. Barcola's definitely close to with Yildiz, but I think he's just after because of how much he'd cost. Where he is with PSG, yeah, at least 140, 50 mil. And if it's not a Vinny, I don't know if you do that, you know. So yeah, Barcola fourth. Then, of course, Sir Marcus Rashford. Get him on loan if we really need to. You know, you can play a Zolis or Rashford even a Martinelli, I don't know. Play them in the cup games only. And let the rest of the squad figure it out. Because Rashford, he still has a lot to offer. It's just, I don't think the money and everything, like I don't want to be paying silly money for him, wages and the fee, where it takes away from making future signings for the left-hand side specifically, you know. Rashford, all I'm saying, get him on loan if you really need to. If you can't get anyone else, like honestly. I don't think it's going to be another Sterling debacle or a Willian nonsense for the wings, but yeah, I genuinely think Rashford could still offer a lot for us under Arteta. Worst cases of case, Martinelli still has a lot to prove. Zolis could still give us something. Obviously what Trossard couldn't do, I think he could do in terms of power, pace, all that stuff. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Let me know in the comments, though, who you would sign out of this list. If there's no names on here that you think are realistic or what we need, then let me know down below who you think as well, because I still think the left-hand side needs just a smidge more depth. I know Eze can play there. I know other players could go there, but I just think as a sole winger, bro, these names, at least 4 out of the 5, yeah, could be game changing, man. So let me know in the comments if you like this sort of video, then let me know as well. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and plenty more Arsenal waffle to come. Peace.